Hi, my name is Rachel Cohen, and I wanted to learn about research into the psychological pitfalls that can lead to some of the challenges women face in the tech industry. Not because I want to intimidate us as we embark on our careers. The opposite, in fact. The better we understand how unconscious bias can work, the better we can affect change from within the industry. I focused on 3 recent studies that explore the sometimes complex and unexpected ways that women can encounter obstacles in tech along different stages of the career path. The first is a 2015 paper that examines gender disparities across different academic fields. Researchers at Princeton, the University of Illinois, and Otterbein University surveyed professors and grad students about their perceptions of what it takes to thrive in their discipline. So, for instance, faculty in computer science were asked whether they agreed with each of these statements. The first 2 reflect the belief that success in the field comes mostly from innate abilities, while the last 2 put more emphasis on the impact of hard work. It turns out that the responses vary greatly from one subject to another. And the problem with that is past research has shown people tend to believe, erroneously, that men are more likely than women to possess raw intellectual talent. Sure enough, the researchers found a strong correlation between the dearth of female PhD recipients in a field and the belief within a discipline that it requires natural genius. These charts show their findings. The top one is for the hard sciences, and the bottom one is for the humanities and social science. That's because the researchers' focus was on the hard sciences, but they also surveyed faculty in the humanities and social science to see if similar trends would emerge, and indeed they did. In each chart, the vertical axis represents the percentage of female PhDs within a field. Subject areas near the top of the graph have high numbers of women. The values on the horizontal axis reflect how hard work versus innate ability is credited within a discipline. The farther to the right, the greater the belief that raw intellectual talent leads to success. And you'll see that computer science is located in the lower right-hand section of the chart. We, of course, are part of changing some of the numbers in computer science, but it's important to remember that if you ever start questioning whether you possess the abilities to succeed as a programmer, those doubts may very well come from some gender stereotypes. Instead, we should focus on the intense effort we've all put in here. Now let's move on to the process we'll soon be starting, the job search. In the not-so-distant future, we'll be perusing postings from various companies and deciding whether to apply. These are 2 real ads I found while doing a quick search of monster.com last week. Give them each a read, and think about whether one sounds more appealing than the other. The reason I chose these 2 is that extensive research has been done into the idea of gendered wording. Both men and women tend to perceive certain words as more masculine or more feminine. And the problem is that an abundance of so-called masculine language can leave women feeling unwelcome. And now, this next slide, I'll show you some of the examples of some of those words that are in each of these. So in a 2011 study, researchers at Duke and the University of Waterloo examined online ads for positions in male-dominated professions, including computer programmer. They found that those postings were more likely to contain masculine words than those for jobs in female-dominated professions. And they also presented test subjects with fictional ads that used either masculine or feminine terms. They then asked them to rate the attractiveness of the position and whether they believed they belonged in that occupation. When the ads used more masculine words, women rated the positions as less appealing and felt less of a sense of belonging at the company, even when they considered themselves qualified for the job. And the effect of the language was quite unconscious. When the female test subjects were asked later which factors influenced their opinions, none of them mentioned the wording of the ads. So as we delve into the job search, try to be aware of the language used in postings and make sure you're not eliminating any potential position because of an unconscious reaction to the terminology. And once we're working in tech, we can help raise awareness of these issues to ensure that women aren't inadvertently turned off by your company's ads. There are quite a few websites out there that can help employers ensure they're using gender-neutral language. Finally, what happens once women are working for a tech company? The industry prides itself on being a meritocracy, a philosophy that would seem to ensure that women are judged fairly based on their job performance. But a 2010 study found the opposite. Researchers at MIT and Indiana University assigned MBA students to distribute a pool of bonus money to a pair of fictional employees, one male, one female, based on equally positive performance reviews. The students also received one of two different versions of the fake company's core values. You can see part of each version on this slide. In the scenario where the core values did not emphasize merit, the MBA students recommended nearly identical bonuses for the male and female employee. But when the core values espoused a meritocracy, the male employee's bonus was 12% higher than the woman's. So why might this be? Previous research has found that when people view themselves as fair and objective, which is the way they might feel if they perceive that their company rewards employees based solely on merit, they're actually more likely to act on stereotypes. It's like they sort of give themselves an excuse that they feel like they're being great people, and then they're actually less aware of their bias and more likely to act on it. So a tech culture that celebrates the meritocracy can actually make managers more vulnerable to bias. It's these sorts of counterintuitive tendencies, in particular, that the industry needs to be educated about to ensure that women are truly judged fairly for their skills and accomplishments. Thank you.